All right, so today we're gonna be talking about cannabis. Now, if you're not somebody that's into cannabis, you don't necessarily have to watch this video. But if you're somebody who smokes cannabis or you know, continuously uses it, this is something you definitely want to check out, because we're going to be running through a cannabis meditation. So before I spark up, okay, I want to talk about some of the basic health concerns here that we're talking about when we're thinking about cannabis in general. Obviously, smoking is not the best technique to consume this sacred herb, because smoking has side effects, right? Creates tar in your lungs, can sometimes bring down some of your energy. But smoking cannabis, just like smoking tobacco, pure tobacco, can be a shamanic experience. Now, what really brought me to do this video is the fact that I've been wanting to do it for a while, like literally forever. In shamanistic culture, everything is a sacred substance and they have their uses. And we're taught that when you take a substance, you use it as a training tool to expand your consciousness, bring more power to yourself, or to find answers, okay? And as we keep diving into these later episodes, I'm gonna share with you all the different kinds of substances that I've taken, the types of sacred information that's come from these substances, and we're just gonna start off light with marijuana, cannabis, right? So cannabis comes in two different kinds usually. There's indica and sativa. Sativa is more like upper energetic. Indica is more like sleepy time, couch, right? And then there's a blend in between. There's also things called CBD, which doesn't get you high like THC does, but does still provide a lot of medicinal effects. Now, when you take any sort of cannabis treatment, it'll hit you in different ways. If you eat it, it gives you like a body buzz. If you kind of like vape it, it'll hit you differently in the mind. And if you smoke it, it's gonna hit you more physically altogether. And they're always coming out with new ways to administer it to yourself, whether it's through balm or anything like that. But one of the things I grew up learning how to do very powerfully is smoking marijuana, particularly just a joint. You don't want to use a bowl because bowls can get really gross and then you're consuming resin. But the marijuana plant itself is a gift from Mother Earth. And it's heavily connected to your third eye, okay, right here, all right? And when you smoke it, you can think of it as a gym, like you went to the gym and now your third eye has this really dense weight on it that you have to work your way out of. Now, some people are like, wait a minute, but I got high, so I didn't have to like think or feel the rest of the world. Why would I want to work my way out of that high? Because you get more control over your reality if you do that. Not only that, your third eye expands heavily by doing so. Now, a lot of times when I see people come into the shop, they are usually perpetual cannabis smokers and they smoke to escape, all right? And a lot of times if you're one of those people that smokes to escape from your problems, there's gonna come a point where smoking's not gonna work for you all that much. And maybe you're there already. That's probably why you're watching this video right now, because divine alignment brought you here and told you all the weed you've been smoking is now not working for you and you need to find another alternative, all right? And I'll give you my personal story. I started smoking weed when I was 16, was the first time I got a hold of it, but I didn't really start smoking it until I was 19. And the reason why I started really chain smoking it was because of the fact that I was going through a really like tough life change at the moment. I was going through college, I was supporting myself through college, I was in a really bad relationship with someone that was causing me a lot of stress. I was trying to figure myself out as a shaman that stepped out of shamanistic culture and stepped into a modern day world. That was something else that really drew me. It kind of like added so much stress. And I remember meeting one of my greatest friends who was like, hey, maybe you would do well by just smoking and kind of like escaping from that. So then I did, and I got hooked and I started smoking. And it wasn't until like 8 to 10 years later that I realized that all the stress that I was dealing with when I was 19 had never got dealt with because I would smoke, bury it, smoke, bury it, smoke, bury it. And as time went longer and longer and longer, I needed what started off as a little dime ended up turning into an 8er, then a quarter, then an ounce. And I was literally smoking probably like an ounce a week, especially when I got married and when I was getting divorced. So if you use cannabis to escape, you're gonna notice you're gonna have a lot of hard time really kind of like bring yourself out into a new light of reality, because cannabis is heavily connected. Not only it activates your third eye, but you know, if you've taken the chakra mirror course, you know that 6 plus 2 in chakra mirror phase 2 equals 8. So there is this connection between the third eye and the sacral chakra. And if you are not clearing out that sacral chakra, which is part of your intuitive center, you're not going to be pulling out all the power that you can get out of your third eye. Now, it's not necessary for you to do this, okay? For you to smoke weed to get this type of effect. If you still want to try this with us, you can. But you're going to notice that if you decide to smoke with me right now, before we get started and we go through this meditation, it's going to be something, whoa, that you never even thought about, okay? But that's one of the main things I want you to understand. The more weed you smoke, you will start inhibiting your sacral chakra, and your sacral chakra will hold on to emotions that will then block your intuitive senses, and then you're going to become one of those people that's constantly stuck in your head. So maybe this is a good time for you to start practicing control when smoking weed and using it with purpose. One of the first things I really like to do before I even roll my joint is I take a second to thank Mother Earth. So here I have my joint in my hand, and I did this process before I ended up rolling it, but now I'm gonna do it one more time. Thank you, Mother Earth, for bestowing your power of Ganja upon my system, bringing me answers, connecting me with the Lord Shiva, the master of the third eye and of cosmic movement. I'm so blessed to have you as a part of my reality, and I honor every portion of you. Thank you, Ganja. Thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you, Shiva. And once you do that, you kind of really do feel like this, something just like kind of sort of changed, right? So the third eye is ruled by one of the masters known in Hindu culture as Shiva, which is this androgynous being usually seen in purple, mostly will take the form of a male. He's tied to the third eye. He's the master of the third eye and movement in general. And he's taught me a lot. He's one of my best friends, okay? And if we end up channeling him while we're doing this meditation, that's great. You might see him when we're doing this meditation, him or them or her, because everyone in astral space is queer. We're dual gender, we understand this. So sometimes you'll see Shiva as a woman, sometimes you'll see Shiva as a man. Sometimes you'll see him as, or them as both, right? As a queer person in today's culture, two-spirited. So when we're diving into this, prepare yourself, get your things ready, and then we're gonna take this ride, okay? I want you to take a couple nice hits out of it, okay? So I'm ready. Not sure if you are. If you need to pause this for a few more minutes, go ahead. But I'm definitely ready. So what I'm smoking here is a sativa dominant, but it's a hybrid. So it's it's 50-50, right? It's like kind of like couch locker weed, but also could be very much so productive. So you're gonna notice that when you smoke indica, there's usually a lot of pressure right here in the higher portion of your head, which is really heavy on your third eye. When you smoke sativa, you more so feel it on the body end, which is also really heavy on the sacral chakra. When you smoke a blend, you're somewhere in between. So it's the best way to remember that. So we're gonna do just a really quick meditation. This meditation is gonna be powerful, but you're gonna have to push yourself because it's not a regular meditation, all right? We're gonna take a deep breath. We're gonna set the intention that we're in the same room together right now, okay? So you and me, we're just chilling. We're just chilling right now. This should be even easier for you because your mind is just now a little bit more lucid. Now, when you smoke marijuana, you'll notice that you'll feel energy more densely, okay? And you might start seeing my movements. You might be able to see certain kind of like waves of energy around my arms or like around my hand. If you look at my hand, I have like a vibration around, and when I move my hand, you might be able to see it. There's like a vibration around. Okay, and there's like an aura coming around my body. Okay, if you haven't been able to notice this until now, hey, woof, we're doing some aura sight. If you can't see it, don't worry. You're trying too hard. Just use your peripherals and relax. Don't overstress anything that we're gonna do next. So we're in the same room together. Take a deep breath. Let go of any tension. Let go of any excitement. Anticipation will cause a block, all right? Excitement will be usually what triggers anticipation, and then you'll create a block. You don't know what you're about to experience, so, we're looking at this roller coaster from outside and saying like, oh, we're about to go on this ride. I wonder what it's like, right? That's how you have to feel. I wonder what it's like. I've never been on this roller coaster, but I see people get off, and like, I think I understand what it's supposed to feel like, but you never know what that roller coaster really feels like until after the ride itself has been finished and you can reflect on it. All right, so that's exactly what we're doing right now. We still haven't ridden this roller coaster. You have to come in with that same energy. Ooh, yeah. Deep breath again. So now that we're together, we're about to go on this ride. I want you to straighten out your back. If you feel any tension anywhere in your spine, move around so you can expand yourself. And you're gonna just let your heart center open wide. Now, why are we going to be opening our heart center if we're supposed to be working on our third eye and our sacral chakra, right? Well, the heart center is like the middle ground between the higher chakras and the lower chakras. The heart center is right here. So it makes sense to open up the fourth doorway, the fourth dimensional doorway. The ethers, the astral, so you can connect the higher with the lower. So in the chakra mirror, we learn in phase 2 about 2 and 6, right? As above, so below. I just like throwing some of my core stuff out there so you guys can kind of see how it applies to everything that we do in general. And if you don't know what we're talking about, go take a course and then come back to this, and then you're gonna get totally different effects from these videos. Now you should be feeling both your sacral chakra and your third eye somewhat kind of like intermingling with each other. Once in a while they'll like phase in and out, but you should be feeling them kind of like they're present. And you might start even feeling your root chakra a little bit more present as well. You're going to give yourself into your third eye. Completely give yourself into your third eye. And you just relax into it. You have to relax your physical body, basically, until you feel your third eye mostly. And it's a weird feeling. It's different. Everything we're doing is different. Take a deep breath. Relax into it more. Now you're going to set the intention that all of your energy is going to go towards your third eye. And you relax into it. Just like an app, you turn it on and you let it do its thing. Another deep breath. Every time you breathe, sometimes you might need a deeper inhale, a deeper exhale, or some exhales even require sound, like I just did. Let all the energy that's in your third eye now focus itself down towards the sacral chakra. And let your sacral chakra fully expand as freely as it'd like to in all directions. And now repeat the same process. Let all the energy that's going down to the sacral go all the way up to the third eye. And you're going to feel a lot of intense energy at the third eye. Give everything you got into the third eye. Push yourself into the third eye. You'll start feeling like a weight. Your eyes might feel like they want to go up and roll into the back of your head. It might be painful, but you'll notice that as you force yourself up and you relax into it, your consciousness expands. And you feel closer to everything. Feel like you can touch something different that you haven't been able to touch before. Now let that sensation vibrate through your entire body, every cell of your body. Another deep breath. If anything negative or stressful or bothersome comes up, breathe it out with your breath. Keep relaxing and you're going to feel like your third eye opens. You have to relax into the third eye. You need to force that eye open as we were, that kind of weight is forcing the eye open. And relaxing allows us to like work the muscles of the eyelids of our third eye. If you're doing this with your eyes closed, this is probably the best way to do it. And if you haven't been doing it, you can practice both. Doing it with your eyes closed is actually like the easier version. You want to usually hit like high tiers that we're hitting in, and then open your eyes. And then you can feel the energy shift from a certain portion of duality and reality, and in your brain, the subconscious, into the consciousness. Deep breath. Now, you're gonna feel like there's tension in certain areas of your body, maybe. You might feel like you're vibrating. Now you have to imagine that your body the physical body is squeezing your astral body into place. And that's why you kind of feel like that tension. So you have to willingly now step outside of your physical body by setting the intention that you're going to step out. Do it right now. And you saw how my body reacted when I did it. And almost like twitched. Relax into this for a second. This is a different feeling as well. Deep breath. Give your heart space to this energy by relaxing into your heart chakra. Put all your attention to your heart chakra and then relax and give into it. By you opening these doorways in your chakras, you start existing in a different frequency. You might feel like you're phasing in and out, or you're just vibrating very high. This meditation could still be done without cannabis. But with cannabis, you can feel it. You can really feel the chakra flowing through you. And it makes your body easier to interact with those higher senses that you're not accustomed to. And these are baby steps. Cannabis is a really great way for a lot of people to start walking into their astral bodies, experiencing the astral. If you're somebody who's in the 3D that needs to experience something more outside of yourself, this is a great way to do it. You just let your chakra flow. And every once in a while, you're gonna feel like there's tension. Like I feel a lot of tension right here, like in my neck area, back shoulder area, and a little bit in my spine, yeah, and my shoulders. So this padding, this density, this uncomfortable feeling is negative energy that you're holding on to based off of something. If you feel it in your shoulders, you're usually feeling something about carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. Or you have a lot of responsibility that you can't keep up with. Usually your neck is also supporting factors. Things that you're not getting out. Your spine, depending on where it is, the lower spine would be more so like fear-based. The sacral, like the center-ish area of the spine, is more so mental and emotional. So by seeing where the tension is already in your body with this cannabis technique, you can start kind of analyzing what is there. In my life, I'm always thinking about all these things. I'm taking care of a lot of people. I'm doing all these different kinds of experiments and stuff like that to try to help the world. So I feel like I have the weight of the world on my shoulders. I'm always channeling, and I can't get it out as much as I want to because I've been moving and doing all these other crazy things lately. So it's hitting the back of my head. It's hitting me in the center of my spine because that's obviously causing me emotional stress. You can analyze yourself. Maybe your legs hurt, fear of moving forward, or fear of standing up for yourself. If you feel it in your heart, are you going through heartache? Or in your chest, like, is there something that you have to get off of your chest that you haven't? In your throat, if you feel in the throat area, what are you not communicating? What truth are you not accepting? What wisdom has been coming to you that you're just not listening to? And now I hear Shiva's name. And I hear Shiva, Shiva, Shiva. Take a deep breath. So I said, Lord Shiva, how may we help you? And he states, life is like movement. Movement is all energy. Energy is life. Energy is existence. Energy is like water. The movement of water always finds its place. Gentle yet powerful. It always finds its place. You, my child, are here in place right now. All movement comes towards you. All power lies within your step forward towards movement and direction itself. Know no bounds when movement is everything. Energy is everything. Movement is you yourself. The I am of energy within movement, observing itself. I am Lord Shiva. I leave you now. And there you have it. You might feel like you're still high, but not as high. You want to try to hit this technique, and you want to build it. It's like a rocket shooting itself up. And when you start putting that pressure towards like up into like that area, and you keep pushing yourself, you hit frequencies that all of a sudden, boof, and they lock into place. And you can understand something a little bit more profound. You might have seen Shiva. When I first started hanging out with Shiva, Shiva was a she, and she was this goth girl that dressed in purple with black midnight purple like lipstick. Today, Shiva presented themselves as a dual being, male and female, light and dark. You may have seen him as a male. And still, I stopped actively meditating, and the ganja is still coursing through me, and it gave me this burst of energy. And you might notice that. Embrace those moments. It's those moments that you really need to train yourself to like take in, so you can be more magical. If you're not doing it, you're gonna be like, you need to also think about what's the matrix is going to try to trick you from doing things like this. So maybe you smoked and you're about to hit that peak, and then somebody texts you and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go look at, no, don't look at the text. If you let go of the physical, your attachments, Vishnu, Buddha has told us so many times about attachment. If you're in the middle of a meditation and somebody texts you, and I sometimes do that to myself. I will smoke some weed and I will just leave my phone over there. Earlier in the day, I had like 25 different conversations going on with people all over the world. And then I'm just like, I'm gonna go meditate. And then I'll be meditating, I'll hear boom, 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 boom. And I'm just like, it's agonizing, because you can feel all that energy coming off of the phone. And all the people who want your attention. But you have to sit there and apply your own power in the manner that you want. That's the movement of energy that Shiva was talking about. The whole fact of your energy is movement. When you understand that you are it, you need to train yourself to direct the movement of your energy in the direction that you want. And you always want to train it to go in the direction that you desire, because you clean out the rest of your manifestation. A lot of us manifest and we're building it as we go along, like, oh, this is where I think I want to get to at some point. And then it's like a road, a hallway, let's say a hallway, with a bunch of stuff in the way. Because we're constantly adding things, taking things out, not really putting things back. And our manifestation gets kind of cluttered. Here's a good way for us to like sit ourselves, find our center, be able to practice this consciously on the regular. And then all of a sudden you start noticing that everything is smoother, that you're living in a more dreamlike state. This is one of the most powerful sacred substances that really allows you to see and feel for yourself what this is like. This is Ascended Master Antojai,